Hey everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Clinic. This is a new podcast hosted by Dr. Molly O'Banion and myself, Ashley, just a regular gal. The premise of this podcast is all things pets and veterinary medicine. Dr. Molly is here to do that part. I am here to make sure she's using words us regular people can understand. Each episode we will dive into different aspects of veterinary medicine, interesting cases seen at the clinic, and just general advice on pet ownership in hopes of educating and giving a glimpse into our world. So, let's get started. Howdy, and welcome back to Tales from the Clinic. So today we are jumping into Eastern medicine. This is a different kind of medicine that Molly has gotten into. It is kind of continuing education, but it's a new field that she has gotten a lot of interest in, and there's a way to integrate it with what we call Western practice, which is kind of what you're used to us doing here at the clinic. This is definitely out of my realm, so I will be doing a lot of simplifying for y'all today, and Molly will be doing a lot of the educating. So, Molly, you want to jump in?
Okay, let's talk about the beginnings of Eastern medicine. So Western medicine comes from the Western world, right? We have our drugs, we have our x-rays, our blood work, everything that y'all are used to when you go to your doctor and or the veterinarian, dentals, pharmacology, all of that kind of stuff is all considered Western medicine. Eastern medicine comes from ancient Asia, and it is over 8,000 years old, which just still shocks me. I really don't understand how 8,000 years ago they learned if you poke somebody right here, it makes them stop vomiting. Like, I really just don't understand. But they were smarter than I am. And, you know, it's crazy that they didn't have any of the diagnostics and anything, and they figured this out all on their own, and they were right.
Yeah.
And it's still relevant. And I know that a lot of people hear acupuncture and they think, ooh, it's quack world. But it's not. It works. I can't tell you how many paralyzed pets I've taken from completely cut off spinal cords to walking again. Like, it's just insane. And Western medicine can't do that. Now, Western medicine can do a lot of things that Eastern can't, which is where we get the integrative idea, to be continued. But let's talk about Eastern medicine a little bit more. There are 4 pillars. So there's 4 big aspects of Eastern medicine that you need to focus on and pay attention to when you're treating an animal as a whole, or a person. All of this relates to people too. The 4 pillars are herbs, food therapy, tuina, and acupuncture. Now, we will dive a little bit deeper into each one of those. I guess we're going to start with herbals because that's what I started my list with. Herbal medicine, I am not talking about smoking a joint. That is not the same thing.
That does not count.
Herbal medicine.
Smoking a joint does not fix things.
Does not fix things.
Especially with pets.
Actually, THC is very, very toxic, so please don't. Please don't do that. Okay, so herbal medicine, there are a lot of herbs out there that can buy over the counter. There's prescription grade. Most of them are not highly regulated. Most of them don't come from reputable sources. We don't know if what they're labeled as is actually what's inside the product, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't want me to go on the spiel.
What's that soil thing? The soil thing you told me?
Soil thing.
The soil, you said the...
Pooping on the grass. Are we back to this?
No. We only poop on the grass and I eat it one time. No, in order for it to be reputable, the Yunnan, it has to be grown in the soil in the specific region of China for it to count.
Yes. So for different herbs, what season they're harvested, what soil they're built up in, what kind of weather that so if you're like putting them in a greenhouse here versus actually growing them in South America, it completely changes the nature of the herb and how the body uses it.
That's nuts.
So like some herbs, like astragalus, I'm pretty sure does this. If you grow it in a really, really hot temperature and you pick it during the summer, it does something different than if you pick it during like fall.
See, that's cool. I like that kind of stuff.
Did you know? So religion, right? So the Bible says that when Jesus was born, the 3 wise men brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. And a lot of people still do think that they brought those as gifts because they were expensive items or hard to find items back in the day, but they weren't even for baby Jesus. Frankincense, gold, and myrrh are 3 different herbals or products that you can use as herbals that heal postpartum mothers. They brought them from Mary.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm going to write that down when I have a baby someday.
Yeah, just start eating gold. Okay, so herbals, you can find a lot of hoodoo out there, but there are actual herbals that can be very beneficial, but you need to find somebody who's trained in them because of all the small nuances that make such a difference. I get all of my herbals from Jingtong, which is so I went to Chi University.
Mm-hmm.
This is after vet school, so I was already a veterinarian, and then I saw this whole world that I hadn't tapped into yet because they don't really teach you this stuff in vet school, and I was like, why not learn that too? And so I went to Chi University down in Florida. The owner of it is from Shanghai. Like, he's a veterinarian from China that was traditionally and Western trained. He moved to Florida in the 90s, and he built this university, and he's teaching all of us these things, which is great. His name is Dr. Shea, and he's awesome. His wife's pretty cool too. And all of his children are crazy humans that are very much smarter than me and very successful in their worlds. Just throwing that out there. So he's built this whole university. It has a large animal hospital, a small animal hospital. He works on fancy racehorses all over Florida. Veterinarians come from all over the world to go take his classes, and he teaches classes all over the world. So they have like a balance method class in Costa Rica and another one in Italy. I want to go.
You should go to Italy.
I want to go. So he also owns Jingtong Herbals, which he regulates his formulas, and he knows exactly where they're sourced from, and he processes them, and it's FDA approved, and he ships these herbals out everywhere. And he's created all of these recipes from his entire career of using the herbs, and he knows that they work. So that's where I get all of mine from. So we know where they're coming from. I trust Dr. Shea. It is not hoodoo.
So, question on the herbs, which might be what you were going to go into next, but for example, gabapentin versus body sore. What is the benefit of doing the herbals instead, or maybe not even a benefit, but a different approach on the body? Like, what is the actual difference?
So they work different. So gabapentin is a Western medication that is really good for neurological-based pain, right? So it shuts down the nerves and makes them stop screaming and makes them only whisper, ouch, ouch, ouch. Body sore does not work with nerves at all. Body sore is an herbal formula that you can think of as an anti-inflammatory in its action, but herbals aren't created to work in the way that we traditionally think of them. Yeah. Herbals are created to work on particular disease processes in Eastern medicine, not on symptoms.
I get you. The source, not the after.
Right. So Eastern medicine is really, really great at looking at the body as a whole and not the symptoms like Western medicine is.
Okay.
So we want to treat the body as a whole, but body sore is also really good as a, quote, anti-inflammatory, so you can just give it to anything that's in pain and it will help. But it's not formulated specifically for that.
I get you. Okay.
You have to take off your Western medicine hat and put on your little Eastern medicine hat, and you have to think about the world in different eyes.
Yeah. And you, from what I've seen with our patients, typically I don't see you prescribe body sore and gabapentin.
I mean, you can. They work in tandem. They do different things. They're not going to hurt each other.
Yeah.
But you also have to think not everybody wants the herbals. It kind of takes a special client.
Yeah.
And so if that client is interested, then I have them to give, but I'm not going to hand anybody the body sore without them
understanding.
Right.
Yeah, right. I get you. And then, of course, obviously, we never want to unnecessarily overdose a dog.
No. But it's really hard to overdose on herbals. You can. If you eat too much ginseng, which ginseng, athletes in the Eastern world keep ginseng in their pocket. And if you're running a marathon and you get really tired, you can pull it out and you can eat it. And it gives you extra oomph. But it's really, 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 really hot and warming. And so if you give too much of it, you can actually cause fevers.
Interesting.
See, I'm full of all these useless information.
She also knows a trick where, actually, I'll tell you all that one when we get to acupuncture points.
Okay, let's move away from herbals. We could do a whole 5-hour-long conversation about herbals. Food is pretty understandable. Different foods do different things. Wah, wah, wah.
Chi dog.
Yeah, Chi dog's pretty good. It's over-the-counter food that you can get for your pets, and they base it on their personality type, which I'll go into that when we get to acupuncture. So if you have a fire spirit dog, you can get the fire chi dog food, and it helps to regulate their system and the disease process that they're prone to coming down with, which is really nice. But if you don't want to buy a pre-made, and a lot of people are starting to cook meals, there's a website called balanceit.com that's really good, helping you create complete balanced recipes and not just chicken and rice all day, which is not a complete recipe. So if you want me to talk more on food, I totally can. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it's a whole ball game.
It's a whole world, and there's so much false information out there. It's almost more frustrating to me because I'm not going to argue with people about raw diets versus not. There are benefits to both. There are risks in both. Nobody is 100% right, but there are ways to do it safely. And if you're interested in that, just send us an email, and I'll make a whole different topic on it. Okay, Twaina. What's Twaina? Do you know? I know. Pick me.
Twinon?
Tweena.
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 No, I don't. Molly, go.
It's Mandarin.
Done.
Tweena is the third pillar, and it is medical massage. So it's Chinese massage techniques that you use on acupuncture points to do the same effect that acupuncture does, but you get to specifically tell the body what you want it to do.
Oh, like spleen-8 on a human.
Yes.
So spleen-8 is an acupuncture point, but these specific spots are on animals and humans as well. And when Molly was in school and she learned about it, she showed me where the spleen-8 location was, which is a little spot right below the knee. And if you massage it, it'll get rid of constipation.
It clears your trash can. I had a friend that was really constipated once, and I did it to her, and then all night she was up going to the toilet, and she came back the next day and she told me to make it stop, but I don't know how to make it.
Go counterclockwise instead of clockwise.
It just needs to finish its job. I don't know. So Tweena is you use the same acupuncture points like spleen-8, but you do different massage techniques on them. So there's a lot of different techniques. There's Gongfa, Gungfa, Anfa, Rufa, Tuifa, Twafa, Bashanfa. I'm not making these up. And they all end in fa.
I know, but you just say them so fast, it's like a song.
No, and they're different things that you're doing with your hands, and you're telling the body to do different things. So like sedate this point, but encourage this point, and roll out this point, and crank.
Interesting.
Yes. So a lot of animals, I'll teach people to do Tweena in the room, and they can go home and they can do it at home. Like I'll teach them like one or two little things at a certain different point.
Yeah.
And the thought process is it's going to prolong my acupuncture session, and it's going to benefit the pet in the week while we're waiting for the next session.
I getcha.
But I also use it on myself. And it's really nice if I have an animal that's really needle shy, and maybe I can only stick like 3 or 4 needles in it, and then I'll Tweena on other points that I want.
I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Cats.
Cats don't like anything.
They're so creepy.
I'm the cat person. Molly is 100% not.
I work on them, and I help them, and I save their lives as they judge me and think about ways to murder me in their sleep. One-sided relationship, honestly. Okay, the last pillar, the one that most people are the most familiar with or have heard at least something about, acupuncture.
Molly loves acupuncture.
You know, though, it's really funny because acupuncture, when you're placing a needle in a patient, you want energy into that needle, right? And this is going to sound like a bunch of hoopla, but just trust me. I'm not making this up. So when you're putting that needle in, you're talking to the body on that meridian point, and you're putting chi, which is energy, into that point, right? Because you want the body to respond to that point. It takes energy away from me to put that needle in. And sometimes I can feel it. Like when I put the needle into a right spot, and if that pet was really, really deficient in that spot, it makes it makes my fingers tingle.
Yeah.
And if I can do acupunctures at any time of the day, but if I have a lot of them in one day, by the end of the day, I am drained. Like I feel physically exhausted.
Interesting.
Yes.
But it's important to, I guess, place with intent.
Yes. Well, you have to, because you have to place with where your point is.
Yeah.
If they're really, really deficient, it might pull chi away from me, which is fine because I'm healthy and they're not, and they need it more than I do, and I can make more. But like a lot of acupuncture, like soul acupuncture practitioners will do exercises at home to try to rebuild their chi because of that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, like Tai Chi, like
Yeah.
the action and Qigong, they do that at home to rebuild their life force so that they can give it to their patients.
Very cool.
So at the university, they have Qigong sessions in the mornings for us to rebuild our force.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do at home to rebuild?
I sleep and I take care of screaming children.
That sounds nourishing.
Nope. Hence why it exhausts me faster than it probably should sometimes. So acupuncture is basically, it's putting sharp objects into the body, needles, in various locations that talk to the body and tell it what you want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
There are 12 main meridians, which is like little roads with little points on them that go from one end of the body to the next. And each of the little points tells the body a different message. There's also special meridians that do special things. There's special points that aren't on meridians. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on.
There's
in
so many layers.
I know. Let me tell you how many acupuncture points in dogs. I forget. But it's an impressive number. And we have to remember all of them and know how to find them all. And I am mixed animal, right? So I have to know them in dogs and horses and cows. And some of them are the same, but some of them are not.
Yeah.
Over 200 and just dogs.
Ooh.
And then in the horse, there's more because horses are actually more sensitive to acupuncture than dogs are. And horses were the original animal that they started doing acupuncture on when they left human, like in China. And so they know more about the horse. So in the horses, I think there's like 360 something.
Okay. So there technically is, obviously, it's how science always is. There's room for development. They're just currently...
Oh, yes. So Western medicine is finally saying, okay, y'all aren't just a bunch of load of kooks. Maybe there is something to this, and they're actually throwing research money into trying to understand it in Western medicine world.
Yeah.
And so they've done all these special tests trying to figure it out. So they did this series of MRIs in animals, and they did a couple different acupuncture points, and they put the electrodes on them so that you put electricity into it, and that's putting extra chi into the points. And they were able to decipher that if I use certain frequency for certain length of time at certain points, I can release as much natural opioids from the canine brain as if I gave them a dose of morphine.
Interesting. Also awesome.
How did they figure this out 8,000 years ago? I really don't understand. But they didn't have electrode systems 8,000 years ago, so what
Stick it in there and watch.
No, so what happened is the acupuncturist would put the needles in, and then the acupuncturist had an assistant who would sit there and twist the needles for like 30 minutes to stimulate them. That job would suck.
And the doctor's just eating lunch.
Yeah, the doctor's sitting in the corner going, "You're twisting the wrong way. You're odd." Oh, horrible. But yes, learning all of those acupuncture points was quite a task, and it takes a couple years to get that certification. But once you have it, like, it doesn't change. It's in your mind forever.
Yeah.
And you can just build on it because there's always more to learn. There's no way to learn 600 points in various species with knowing everything. You don't know everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I am still learning, and I will always be learning. And I've taken advanced classes. I would love to take the balance method, which is where you like balance so the body is not, one of the things that drives me nuts about Western medicine is like, you go see a neurologist and a gastroenterologist and a pulmonologist and a cardiologist and a dermatologist. They don't look at you as a person. They look at you as skin, eyes, nose.
Yeah.
You're not a human. You're a nose.
Yeah.
And if you have an eye problem, I can't help you. Go to the next door.
Yeah.
You know? And they don't communicate and they don't talk. But a lot of our diseases don't present like that. A lot of our diseases, like cats. I hate cats. Cats can have eye issues that tell you that they have cancer somewhere else in their body.
Yeah.
And so we can't keep doing this. We're not helping ourselves. Acupuncture treats the body as a whole. You place this point, and the body is going to use it for what the body needs it for. It's not going to think, okay, well, you're just relieving my constipation. No, it's you're relieving my constipation. You're stimulating my spleen chi. My energy level is going to get better because I'm going to have more spleen chi, and it's going to feed the rest of my GI tract.
Yeah. That makes more sense to me.
I've had bad medical experiences in my life where I was looked at by 12 different specialists, and they all told me 12 different things, and nobody was getting the right diagnosis because they were all not looking at me as a whole person.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And I don't want to be that doctor, which is why I love the integrative thought process, because I can look at the animal as a whole in my Eastern hat, but I can also take it off and still put my Western hat on and do my blood work and do my x-rays and read those. And it just paints a more complete picture.
I get you.
It's nice.
Yeah. Well, and I also feel like that's the whole, because a lot of times I know people's biggest frustrations are the treating the symptom and just kind of putting a Band-Aid over something, or putting out the one thing that has caught fire when the entire house is on fire.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes everything still fails us, and we still do have to treat the symptom. And the pet magically gets better, and we never come up with a diagnosis. That happens too. But
yeah,
I do think that the Eastern has helped me be able to less compartmentalize and more treat as a whole, which I think is better medicine.
Yeah.
And I want to do another episode just on acupuncture, because there's like a whole, like, I can start talking to you about your personality types, and I can start talking to you about like how to evaluate yourself so that you can prepare for your future, because I can tell you if you're going to get dementia or not. I can probably tell you if you're going to have stress just by looking at your tongue and taking your pulses, which is a really fun party trick. I can tell you what gender baby you're having before you even know.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that.
Because your pulses change.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun. Mm-hmm. I know if you're dehydrated, you get the scallop tongue, where you get the impression.
That's not dehydration, that's spleen chi deficiency.
Spleen chi.
In Eastern. In Western, it's probably dehydration, but they're wrong. Your left side of your body and your right side of your body dictate different organs and different genders. So if you're carrying a boy, your pulses change sides of your body versus if you're carrying a girl.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't told me these ones before.
I know. You've never been pregnant.
That's true.
One day, I'll know all of your insides before you know about your insides.
That's fun and a little scary.
So if you ever meet me and I'm looking at your mouth while you talk, I am judging your tongue. I just want you to know. If I'm not making eye contact and you feel like I'm looking at something else, it's because I am.
That's fun.
And then I can tell a lot about you.
She's also done one before where she can put her 4 fingers on my wrist, and depending on what the pulse feels like in each of her fingers, lets her know different issues, strength of different organs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What they are, I don't remember. But she's got some really fun party tricks.
They are fun party tricks. And they help me survive.
Yeah.
Better.
Also, I will say, and this is something we'll probably go into more in detail later if needed, but the Molly has shown us the acupuncture. Stuck me once, and it doesn't hurt. So whenever your pet is getting acupuncture, people have their fear of needles. They're worried about any kind of pain that the needle going in is causing, because they are kind of long needles, but when done correctly by a trained professional, it doesn't hurt when it goes in. You might get a little, like, I don't know how to describe it, like a zap. But that's your chi reacting.
When I was learning, I asked my mom if I could practice on her, and she was like, sure. And I put a needle in her liver 3 on her foot, and she goes, ah! And I was like, what? Did I do it wrong? Because I was just learning. And she goes, I felt that in my hip. And I was like, then it worked.
Yeah, you got me. I can't remember where you stuck me, but I screamed.
Because it zings you. It zaps you.
Yeah.
But, the vast majority of people, if I offer acupuncture and they're nervous about it, I always try to tell them, like, let me just do 1 session and let's see how your pet responds. Because a lot of people think, oh my gosh, you're not going to be able to do that. My dog's going to go nuts. Mm. The vast majority of the time, they might kind of look at me funny on the first couple needles, but by the time I'm done, they're like passed out on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, it's calming.
Yeah.
And then the people are just shocked.
And then we have one of our regulars, Gimli. He has IVDD.
Amongst other things, but he is, IVDD is back spine related. Its discs get stiff He's had surgery for it before. And
Yeah.
he has the potential, if he keeps rupturing them, to go paralyzed. And so we're doing maintenance on him to keep him walking.
It works really great. And I wouldn't say he's patient. Him and Molly have a very special relationship with each other.
Well, and we've kept him modal, and we've kept him from having additional procedures for like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah. He's a good boy, too. He's a little gremlin.
The Hot Mess Express is what he is. I hope that this taught you something, because not a lot of people have their own thoughts about what acupuncture is without actually knowing much.
Yeah, it's not just witchcraft. There is actual science and studying and earning a degree behind it.
Yes. And if you are interested further, please, because I want to do another acupuncture thing where I tell you how to evaluate yourself and go further into the pulses in the tongue, because I think it's just I think it's nuts.
Molly's a nerd for this stuff, so please ask.
Please, somebody ask.
Yeah, and you can always, like we said, we will more than likely, absolutely, do a podcast in the future about it. But if you are too excited and you want to know more, shoot us an email. And that email is drmollydvm@gmail.com. As always, you can also, we have an Instagram set up for the podcast. You can shoot us questions over on that. I'm the one that regulates that, so I will not be answering the questions because I don't know the answers very well, but I can talk to Molly. Yeah, and then also you can leave comments on the podcast itself that we can respond to. So yeah, anything else, Molly?
Absolutely, positively. Nope.
That's it.
Make good incisions.
Thank you for joining us on Tales from the Clinic. Again, we are your hosts, Dr. Molly and regular Ashley. For more insider scoops into the vet med life and pet ownership, hit that subscribe button for updates on new episodes, and of course, share our channel to spread the word. Check the podcast notes below to see how you can get in contact with us. You can find all of Dr. Molly's affordable pet healthcare clinics on social media as well. Thanks again, and talk soon.